It's just a matter of defining this one sentence a little so that we can better the community and not lose it. This is where people are saying, we're not sure what the board is doing. This is somebody who came to me and said, are you aware of this that's gonna be put in there? And I knew nothing about it. And then we got the documentation and saw this. So I think that's where some of the distrust is taking place because of that. And I think if we can just define that sentence, it would probably allay a lot of fears of people working.
Let's say we all agreed with you. Let's just say we all agreed with you. What would be the way of doing it?
Have lawyer come to a meeting.
Okay, and let's say he agrees with you folks 1,000%, then what?
At no charge.
And have the lawyer
Take
put
it
it in
out.
writing,
Do another amendment.
just anything they
Okay,
say.
he does another amendment, then what?
We send it out and
And
get it
maybe.
back.
Send it out. Now, we're talking probably 2-3 months,
Maybe,
plus a cost to the community of probably over $3,000.
That's
For
what
what?
we
Too
were
bad.
talking
For
about.
what?
printing and mailing.
The ballots, exactly, printing and mailing.
Yeah,
It
but
costs-
that's because
It's like a skit
of the
technique.
problem we had. You did not listen to the
Well,
public in the first place.
You know,
But
this
email.
is actually the 9th.
But this was
And I
never
only did this
discussed.
because I read this thing in the post office. And out of all of the meetings that we've had,
But this
It
issue
is-
was never
This never came up
discussed.
in a meeting. I
No one's-
attended the meeting.
This was
No
never
one
This
saw
never
that
came
to
up.
us. We hadn't seen the documents.
This was snuck in.
Why don't you
Well,
say
wasn't-
things
I
in
wouldn't
email?
It was.
say- I
That
would
word.
say-
It was snuck in.
don't use that word, Diane.
I'm sorry.
That offends me.
Well,
That we snuck it in,
You
you know?
did
But
because
you
nobody
did.
here is aware of
You did,
that.
Jack.
No,
Discussed in the meeting we attended.
don't tell me that we snuck something in.
I have
You
been-
want me to smile for it? Your board is, the 6 people I serve with are probably some of the most honest people I've ever dealt with.
But you said that you
know,
had
and
nothing
to
to
say
do with
that
the
we're
craft of this.
deceiving the people,
You
we're
said
sneaking
it was
things
that
in.
you just said it was Bert and the
They
attorney.
drafted the
So you
language.
had nothing to do with
I
this.
read it, I found nothing defensive or sneaky about it.
But
The
you
only-
never proposed it to the community in the way that it's written.
Can you imagine what it would have gone through if we?
Well, don't you think
Well,
we
wait a
are
minute.
worthy of that?
We're proposing it to the community now.
Who's
And look how
paying
few
for it?
people we've got.
So,
paying for
Yeah,
it.
which
It's the community.
You are.
To have to
So
prepare,
if
propose
we
for the,
decide that we're gonna
register.
redo it, write it all over again, and then put it up back out to vote, how long a term do you think the community
Well, do you
should be
wanna
for
forego
vote?
all of this?
Well,
or do
you
you
Whatever it is.
You wanna know or you wanna
Use your
yes?
way.
Say no?
I'll be honest with you. If we went through another, you could answer that, if we took another, hopefully we'll get the answers back to this by September. By then, we'll already have an idea on what it's going to cost to the penny, because the bids will have gone out. If it votes yes, September 1st, we start construction. If they vote no, we help you load up. If they want to have this all rewritten, we probably wouldn't get an answer for at least 2 months beyond that, December.
Jack, we're talking about one sentence here. We didn't ask you to rewrite the whole thing.
It's still gotta be put back out, it's gotta be, has to be voted
You can
against.
do it in the form of an addendum.
the bottom line is they don't, he
The
does chooses not to go
400
that
people that
route.
have already voted are gonna have to vote over
Save a
again.
fortune
Yeah,
in mailing
Maybe
and
not
printing.
everybody has.
Mailing and printing runs for $3,000.
Why don't you do email,
Well, I'll
Jack?
tell you,
Can't,
I
it's
work-
illegal.
I
It's
work
illegal.
for another organization.
Illegal?
It's
I volunteer
illegal.
in another
How is it illegal?
organization.
It's on our
Sometimes that's
documents,
so.
they must be first-class mailed. We can't even stick them in your,
Well, let's,
in your,
why don't we change that then?
oh, now you wanna have another vote on
Well,
that.
if
There you
it's
go.
save us thousands of dollars.
$685, 685 votes. But it would
I'm
go
talking
on
about
until
for
at
everyone.
least December. And by that time, Rich would probably say, we'll see you later.
Doesn't Richard have another business besides this, a catering business?
Sure he does.
That's not gonna cover him?
To what?
Why would he,
To
why
run
would
this
he
place.
want to do that?
Yeah, why would he
Well,
want to operate this for at a loss?
It's not like he's losing money, he's still doing something else
But he is.
in this confine.
He is losing money.
I'm not so
Right
sure
here.
of this.
You're here, he's losing money here.
Not in the other business, the other business.
That's whatever he does there, I don't care. He's losing money
He could be a
here,
pimp, yeah.
every month.
We gotta get more
Was there a-
people
a-
involved with what they said. People should be coming
the
here.
equipment that he brings from the warehouse and puts in, if he leaves, it stays.
No.
That's all part of the
We
lease that we don't
haven't
have
sat
no idea
down
what
with.
it is.
Question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the equipment you bring in, we haven't brought that in yet. We
Okay,
haven't
then
gotten
it
that far,
must be
because
gossip.
that will be something in the lease. And in the back of my mind, I know where you're coming from, and I've already thought of that. And I'm sure Rich has also. But it is his equipment. Okay, he's putting in the stoves, the ovens, the deep fryers, and so forth. The only piece of equipment that we're going to own is going to be the insule hood, because that's becomes a permanent part of exactly, one of our fixtures.
And the chairs and
Those are his.
but aren't we paying to
Nope.
redesign?
Nope,
So we're just paying for food and beverage?
we're paying for the build-up.
So we're paying for the build out.
No, you're talking about on the car.
Tables, chairs, painting, windows treatments,
So that's
couches, that's all his. He's paying for that, not us.
With money
We're
from the
figuring it's gonna
community.
cost us $40,000 to buy the insule hood and do the plumbing, the electrical, and the HVAC work. That's what the HVAC
Just
is
to
gonna
put a
pay.
hood in, 40,000?
Yeah.
A commercial,
God.
a commercial hood is
expensive.
probably $25,000.
Is that called rental
However,
expense?
I'll get you some better bids.
well, we got a bid for $5,000. So we know already pretty much what everything's gonna cost us.
Is that called rental expense? Is that what you call it?
What rental?
I mean, the association's paying money out on rental property as an expense?
I don't know, I'm not the accountant, I know where you're coming from, but I know that Rich has already explained to you about the rental.
And it's very, very common for the landlord to pay that service. It's very traditional for the landlord to capitalize build out,
Yeah.
including some,
Good way to spell it.
furniture, not furniture, but fixtures.
Yeah, and with our,
And we are
with the way we are, we're a nonprofit, so therefore our rental income and our rental expense has to be,
Doesn't matter what they say.
has to be.
has to be in
Because
writing.
we're a nonprofit. All right, everybody finished beating me up?
It's not that, I mean, come on, we have questions. We
Yeah,
want
but
this to,
We
we want
can't
this.
go on December, he won't last that long. He won't last that long.
Well, this goes back to, doing the right thing the first time around.
Yeah, but I guess I'm asking you to please trust your board.
Oh, please.
We live here, we're residents.
Trust the
You know,
board.
if something was written in there a
Tell them
little
about your
bit
letter. Trust the
unsure,
board.
Trust the
Tell them about your
board.
letters.
if it doesn't pass,
He doesn't even pay, he doesn't pay.
It does pay.
if it doesn't pass, you won't be charged a penny.
You asked to trust the board, but
What ticket? Oh, that's between you and him. You bought gift certificates.
Oh, there's something besides that?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going for 220 instead of 120.
No, no.
I understand.
No.
I already did, so I gotta give another 120.
I'll do
Well,
that.
instead of buying the
I'll do it on
120 like
camera.
you just did, you'll pay $120 a year
Board meeting,
instead of
it
having
doesn't
to go buy
matter,
them.
doesn't pay.
And if you own two pieces of property, then you, well, I already did the vote, but you still, the tenant will not buy it, but I will buy it. And I will sell it to the tenant if I want it.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do, what I hear from most of the unit owners that own 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 units, is what they're gonna do is the next time they write their leases, they're just gonna add on $10 a month. And then they'll give it to that person and say, hey, congratulations, thanks for
We gotta
doing business.
promote the crap out
Or
of
keep
it.
them yourself and just use them for your own benefit.
Good question. What about the people who rent them?
That's what we were just talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the people who are renting are gonna have to go to their landlords. Their landlords are gonna pay them.
Okay.
And what if there's Section 8? How's that gonna work in?
Section 8, thank God we don't have any.
We don't accept
No,
food
no,
stamps.
please.
We don't accept food stamps.
Yeah,
You're saying something that you're misleading the public.
Yeah, we don't
our
accept
community.
food stamps.
You're misleading the community on
Yeah.
false information.
Anybody else wanna beat
did he
up
just
on
say
me?
we don't have Section 8?
Yeah, we got on camera.
Jack, you just said we don't have Section 8 here?
We checked a few months ago with the city to find out.
Did you check with the state and the county?
If there were any county we did. I
we
think it
see
was
those
the county or the
documents?
city on what addresses were Section 8s and there are none in Riverwalk?
From West Palm Beach, but can you actually produce that letter? Can you produce that letter? It's transparent. We have that right to
Well,
know.
go and, go ask them. They'll give you the letter.
No.
Who should we ask?
I don't know, maybe Jack Stein can find it while he's doing, costing this community.
Why are you talking behind his back? He's not even here.
These are very important information.
Talking to the thing.
Is this Jack Stein?
Show it to him.
I really
This is
resent
important
that.
information, and we live in transparency. So,
Right. Any other questions? I don't want to get into Section 8. That's not what this meeting's
yeah,
about.
of course not.
One thing,
Yeah.
this place don't pay no rent.
Yep.
They pay rent here?
No, $100 a year.
Anyway, how about the bank? They pay
They
rent?
pay $75 a month in what is called a, it's not called rent.
Anyway.
shared
how about
expense.
How about the hairdresser? They pay rent?
I'm sorry, what?
The hairdresser,
They pay rent?
they pay rent. Now, we are living here, at least I'm living here from the beginning. I'm living here like 16 years now. From the beginning, I live here. Now, if I need the tongue center for like a couple of hours, I gotta pay $200. Is that fair to me?
Sure.
Now, they're getting it for free.
No, they're not. They pay $100 a year.
Yeah, but me, I gotta pay $200 just for a couple of hours. Just for a couple of hours. And then they don't even trust me. I gotta give them $400. And when the thing is finished, then I go get back my $200. Is that fair to the community? Tell me.
How much do the
That's how I'm telling you.
non-residents pay to
That's fair?
play tennis? Non-residents, you get it by the hundreds of other villages.
They come as guests.
They come in as guests, well, why should I pay for a guest for something I don't even use?
Do you use the pool?
So what does that got to do with the tennis
It's the
court?
same thing. You
No,
bring
it
your
isn't.
guests to use the pool.
I don't have guests.
You're swimming in
I don't have
my
guests.
heated water.
And they're charging $50,000 a year
No.
for maintenance for that, when they can't even put it in a 5-gallon can of water in the gym. And they run out because the allotment ran
I
out.
was at the gym 2 hours ago. There's plenty of water. I had 3 cups.
Jack, please stop with the psychological massages. It's always, go at the end of the month when there's no more water and there's no water there, then look at it.
Well, maybe what you ought to do is talk to the people at the tennis community because they're coming over and filling up, taking it over there.
No,
Or-
maybe what we ought to do is next time around for voting, vote for new people.
Now, that's where the problem comes in, because there seems to be a locked-in group that you can't get beyond.
I don't even have
I've
access
only
to
been
the
here
amenities
11
because they want
years,
to charge me
I saw
$100
Oh,
for a
yeah,
fob.
talk about that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's
I
ridiculous.
was told that.
Why wasn't the fob given to you by the previous owner?
One was stolen at the,
Well, they got an
one was,
extra
I've been here for
So you're gonna
15
pay
years.
10.
I bought it for
So if you charge them
Okay, I got 2 fobs, right?
Thank you very
My
much.
daughter was,
Let's get out of
and the
here.
other one was stolen at the pool. The other one was stolen at the pool.
It's definitely.
I called to Green and asked him how much it was. He said it was $5 or $10.